Welcome, welcome to the lovely IHP community and the 5D collective. As we continue our lovely year, we are getting very, very close. It's the 20th. Book gets published. Yay! I'm a co-author of a lovely book, The Ways to God. And my chapter is titled, God is Discerning Equanimous Love. In case you're new, that way you know right away. Because it's really beautiful that we get to share all of the 9. It's a total of 9 spiritual authors, our different ways to God and divinity and consciousness. So spirituality and sciences come together here. And I'm attachment trauma informed. And that's why we're going to talk about how, yes, I react to the unknowns too. But I have a capacity to handle stress and myself with eustress. And that doesn't mean that I don't want a safe haven. No, I do, because that's where we talked about. A safe haven is a self-aware, regulating person who pursues personal growth and development. They don't have to be a 5D mystic, but they're going to be a mindful person, and they don't have to be perfect. They will simply be whatever they are. I know I'm securely attached and non-traumatized because I metabolize what I handle. Okay, so I can speak for Maria's body. You can speak for your body. In fact, I highlighted in both shorts a very good educational podcast, and I'm going to highlight it again because in case you don't want to tune into it. So her name is Dr. Amy Apigian, and the episode is Neuroception Explained. I know all about it because I have a Stephen Porges course and more with my attachment trauma educational certificates and more than just that. But again, let me not digress. So the title is Neuroception Explained, How Your Nervous System Decides What's Safe and Why It Matters for Healing. Okay, so I can only tell you from my body's experience as a mindfulness practitioner, mentor, content creator, podcast host for self-help, personal development. It's a basic consultant with mindset in mind, just in case you're curious. I know that I use all the titles in the world, and I do, but you can break it down quite straightforwardly for when it comes to one-to-one. And it's only people who say, yes, I get to handle myself. And you know why it's a yes? It's because why would you not want to master? It's your own emotional plane. So being able to have a relationship with anger and sadness and fear and happiness, disgust, surprise, but above all, that's why I mentioned neuroception. This is where if you don't know about neuroception, you might be confused about why things aren't moving along. Okay, so when it comes to people who instead need Patrick Tiahan, he has a really great video on why your CTPSD is not moving forward, something like that. I spotlighted his educational podcast and the episode a while back, so you can look him up. I'm sure it's easy to find because it was a couple days ago. Okay, so the people who are helping people to navigate life, and I learned from Dr. Daniel Siegel the term eustress, because he said in one of my courses, as he's being asked about how he's, getting ready to do a presentation, aren't you nervous? And this person, I don't remember who they are. She must not know what neuroscience is, and experts like him do. But then again, we all might not know things. Like the Dalai Lama, he loves to spread joy. Yes. I mean, I need to remember I'm ignorant of math and geometry and other common sense things. So, thank you, Sadhguru. If you can create the climate you want in your mind, emotions, and body, then your health, joy, and well-being will be taken care of. And as our lovely Dr. Daniel Siegel points out, in one of the things that I've quoted, I changed up our description so that you could know amazing quotes. 1, thank you, Jesus, the kingdom of God is within you. So that's the heaven in the body, restored embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating. I can feel it, but I don't know if a person with ADHD or with disorganized attachment or will ever be able to feel this. I don't know that. I can talk about it, and then I can know that if they learn about neuroception and everything with the people who don't pathologize them, close them up in a box and say your brain is done. No, your brain has bright sides and dark sides of neuroplasticity, and the ones who, like Dr. Daniel Siegel, say we're still looking into things. There's a lot that we'll find out. So anybody who's given up on the fact that you can find inner and outer well-being through your embodied brain, no, they're not. There's just some people who, again, the dogmas, those people. They're the pseudo-intellectuals. They're very clear the way they present you the data. They think they know everything, and then they make it sound like a person can't move into another space. So with that being said, we bring together, I do, the human, the spiritual, and the spirituality elements, and sciences is involved in the human elements, to explore human evolution and consciousness in you being yourself. So you also see my email if you want to inquire about a masterclass or one-to-one mentorship or future workshops, retreats. And I actually have some plans to be continued in another episode on my content, because I was thinking about stuff. So it is the ability to bring out the best in others that makes you a leader. Thank you, said Guru. And what I was really looking for was this one. Mindfulness can help to integrate the mind, body, and relationships, which can lead to well-being. Dan Siegel and Pat Ogden. A non-traumatized person with a secure attachment is a person who has the capacity to regulate independently of relationships. That's why I'm a non-traumatized, because I don't do clinical dissociation. So I know about alleles, and I know about mine, okay? That's why, as I said, you watch neuroception, you'll hear a very good technical explanation, and if you care about yourself, you're already aware of this, which is why you would pursue one, therapy if need be, and two, you don't just stop at videos. You actually take the toolkits, whatever it is they're providing, but really, if you have the possibility, you go and work with someone like this lady who, again, I hadn't come across her actual group of people that work with other people in a good way. But I digress again. So here we do self-help, personal development, because that's the part of where we are the people who have the window of tolerance in the forefront, and we are expanding it to window welcome. And so what does that mean? As Dr. Daniel Siegel presented, when you are able to regulate, you have a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain. But you have that because you're also aware of your subjective perception. And that's with subjective, I think it's perspective agency, SPA. I forget what those stands for. He has a great job with acronyms. But point that I wanted to highlight about perception and neuroception is I still, to this day, have the same way that I will be responding, reacting. Again, I do this because those who react with distress, they have a whole different way that they would be talking to you about this. It would be, give me an award. It would be them way down, and that's the part of where the window is not being mastered of tolerance by the human being who has all these new resources that have been around for, they're doing research. It's been more than 3-4 years. They've been in school forever. And they're still doing it. So we are lucky because social media makes them accessible. It's unfortunate business that the pseudo-intellectuals get interviewed by the pseudo-podcasts who care about what they do, who play the algorithm, who really aren't playing an algorithm, but are playing with stereotypes and social, dogmas, norms, whatever it is. I find it uninteresting when I hear anybody being so superficial to actually look for trends. But I am reminded of when I found out that the left and brain, you're not more dominant of one or the other. And this was because I was teasing with a family member. And when we looked up, because we were saying, you're right brain, which I am. I'm a dominant right. But that's because I am a very, very feely with Maria's child parts. And then I can think too. I'm a perfectionist, logical, genuine, the thriving. And I try with all my might to not face aggravation, which is true, which is why having a safe haven, again, very nice, because I can also have moments where I'm aggravated, and that's when I don't unload. I actually get to share. Why? Because they're doing personal growth and development. They know their window of welcome, tolerance. They know what to do to bring lifestyle choices and mindset choices and everything to ensure their inner well-being. Because see, if you're waking up in the morning and you don't have it, you're like, I want well-being. And again, there's access to available sources, so it's selfish. Isn't it? It's so selfish to want to manage your emotional plane. I mean, gosh darn it. So emotional invincibility comes because you know how to handle your thoughts and your body. Now, this is why neuroception, she points out a lot of things. I don't know them. So when somebody wants to talk to me from I suffer, I say, look, no, I don't. I'm telling you, Maria, don't suffer. I have a prefrontal. I'm so sorry. Let me stop you before you begin to try and make me part of your team. I have a different body type. And it's not special. It's just I got lucky with alleles. I have a lovely course with disorganized attachment, and lovely lady who informs us through the conversation as she's asking Dr. Daniel Siegel about it. So I'm not going to get into detail. Like I'm trying to, again, focus on self-discovery. I'm Maria. Who are you? Good. Use your name. What's your purpose? Being with your loved ones. What's the purpose of that? Smiling. When you're smiling and when you're frowning, the world smiles with you, because nobody wants to go to the corner when we're happy. No, but we'll know that when we're joyously sharing with anybody that they might be, upset. I'm not going to hold back my joy for life and my well-being because another human being doesn't know how to regulate their nervous system when they have the availability of those who are out there. So again, while there are people who want to hone in on all the wrongs of the world, which we all know, I'm not doing that. I do inspiring human potential, personal development, self-help. I chose what to focus on purpose. I did not want to focus on any of the other subject matters because since I was an 8-year-old girl, I said, I'm going to help people. A very vague statement, as you'll see in my description on YouTube. That meant I will help people to live a fulfilling life, and that's still what you will find also on the Inspiring Human Potential podcast and website and everywhere. So it's always mindset. And I now know I will only be working with those who want that, because some, they think it's not possible because they feel horrible inside, and there's therapists that can help them though. Their options are very straightforward because these people are making toolkits available at the cheapest of prices because they understand that not everybody can go to therapy. And so with that being said, here's our 5D collective and then our 3D, 4D who get to go and hang out on their islands. And guess what they get to do? Oh, I'm not going to spotlight them right now. So in the meantime, as I was saying, yes, any person who's their own safe haven, secure base, because that's what I am of myself, which is why I handle myself with not whining of my first world problems. But I will say I have first world problems today. I want to whine about it a little bit with myself and then with my safe haven, secure base, who's not whining really. Because that's the part, again, of the difference when you're in your prefrontal. You don't, it's not the words, it's the way that the interaction ends and goes. So if you have personal growth and personal development, it means you are interested in self-discovery and self-mastery. Again, you're interested in feeling deeply and in enriching the depth of the experience of your life, which is why I said guru quotes always match up with restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating people. So now that I'm finally settled in all of it, I know, yeah, you're going to be here if you want to be yourself because you can. You're going to understand that if you are suffering emotions, that there's people who can help you. And 3, any person is not your person just because of, stories. That's for the people who are consistently not understanding why polyamory and monoamory. Love means I know how to be a safe space for myself, and then I can be it for you always, not just sometimes, and I don't treat you like an object or a job, because that's unnatural. You're a safe space. That means it's natural for me to want to come into that little, remember my Italian poem where there's a little cove, the hidden street corners? That's where one of my friends, like, it made me think of the womb. Yes, exactly. Every human being wants that. Now, while our ancestors, evolutionary biology, psychology people have informed me that we want that because the bear will eat you. So I, in my implicit memory, am not alone because I have a twin. So remember, I know that already. So I have a head start because I will never, ever, ever be alone in my implicit, and not explicit. It means my body is never alone. In fact, that's where I don't know what it's like to feel like an only child. I have never been alone. I've shared a room. I've not shared a room, repairing ruptures. Okay, so siblings, but twins in this case of the same. Okay, I'm just saying that's explainable why Robert Sapolsky with his book Determined, he is saying, people, the first 3 years of your life, yes, Robert, but let's just remember that the great and good people who are helping, like this lady with neuroception, it's amazing what she talked about. And you can tell, and she interviewed some other lady on oxytocin, and this lady's not giving you the mother's the one who's going to hug the baby. No, it's the nervous system, because that's the point. It's not about the physical gender. It's about, do you know how to navigate your ventral energy, which means do you know how to self-regulate? Do you know when you're getting upset and stressed to refill your cup? So these are words that people don't actually use in a just layman's terms, or it's not possible. No, it is possible. If you're having a trouble with it though, and you don't go take care of it, and so 2025, it's been since 2005 that I've been on my lovely mystic journey. I was raised with Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit, as you all know. Again, the book, when it comes out, you'll hear about my experience and why God is discerning equanimous love. So with eustress, you still handle, you still can get all the way up to here. The difference is I don't overwhelm, as neuroception will talk about, and I know exactly why, because I have really good practice with resiliency in my restorative, and because God gave me the miracle of life, and I wouldn't want to whine about first world problems. I can get my 2 hands and 2 feet and go do shit. What's the worst case scenario that happens? Like, really, I'm just saying, I come from places that I'm pretty blessed for sure, and I'm not actually lying, meaning I know that I can always make it. I did it my way. No. So my point is, when you have faith in yourself, you have faith in God or dark matter, dark energy, please don't implode. So science, you're going to know how to be not reactive with distress, but react to unknowns as any human being will, because again, your 3-year-old's there. So my 0-1, she doesn't get attached panicky, but she does get somewhat frazzled, and my 3 to 7 is joining her in. And then the grown-up here is like, okay, let me start activating my ventral vagal, let me breathe, let me work with what have I noticed about myself, what did I do that I could have avoided to do, or could I. So that's where the self-help, personal development, that's why the mentor is for those who want one, because you'll know I work with exercises, which is why I have some plans for this content stuff. And I'm thinking, since tiers are not being made available, and it might not be the best format, the subscription-based model content for podcast, I will think about it, but I might be doing Medium instead. That was the surprise, but I haven't decided yet. So I know I want to get you exercises for personal development, self-help with this in mind, with all this beautiful knowledge. I know exactly how people who are benefiting from their well-being will want to put into practice, because again, I do it all the time. Doesn't mean I'm like, oh yay, how beautiful. No. But again, the safe haven, and that's another individual at the very bare minimum that does this thing with their own nervous system. And then there's more than just one, so you'll know who they are, because you'll always be able to. It's not vomit, it's unloading, because you have another person who knows how to unload, and it's called metabolizing the emotions, which means you're using your prefrontal. That's why the Zen master doesn't know how to do it, because he calls it laundry. And maybe he's just trying to say you'll have shitty days, but it's not a shitty day. It is actually not a shitty day, meaning I don't need a Medal of Honor for something that I, Maria, will define as a first world problem because of knowing, again, and I don't know political terms at this point, because I've tried to avoid all of that, because I don't want to be around all those people who don't notice air, water, please say viable, food. I mean, really, it's so basic, it's not even funny, okay? That's where it's a very simple thing to be a person who knows wisdom and who knows what it means. 24 hours I got to live. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So why would I ever again so that's why I'm a securely attached and I'm traumatized 0137 of Maria. And I know exactly what she wants, and I know she deserves it, because everyone deserves love. And that means everyone deserves, yes, a safe haven, secure base, and not a martyr superior, and not a victim or a blamer. No, not someone who's going to lecture, not someone who's going to, be pushy. But again, these are words that don't matter, because those individuals, they're hanging out, Tom and Jerry. You see them. I see them all the time. Pinocchio, how's that bruised eye? You got a leg yet? You got, what's up with the arm? Wow, you're amazing. It's not funny. It's actively, when I see those people, they handle stress with distress. And then their reaction is where they come with the mixed messages, the inconsistencies. That's when you're handling someone else, their nervous system, and therefore, in that moment, here's where, for me, I have completely mastered that, which is my window of welcome. I mean, the panic attacks. If there's one thing that you will definitely learn how to handle for I don't even know how many years. So that's why it's, I'm just saying, I know why I can easily handle Maria, handle the day, handle the 20, notice, self-aware. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a consultant, mentor, content creator. I wouldn't be talking to you about it. Okay, so now that I also know who wants to do this stuff, and again, not the ones who whine about it, and they're just going to be looking for short fixes which don't exist, because the minute you whine about doing emotions, you've missed the point, which is your window of tolerance can consistently be expanded with what you're formulating when stuff comes up, and how are you using lifestyle to express anger, sadness, fear, happiness, surprise, disgust, the basic emotions, in a healthy way. There's so many things you can do that you enjoy doing. And that's why the person and or people, safe haven, secure base, are going to be specific. You're going to already know who they are. And as for those who are in romantic partnerships, I have learned you ask and talk about this with the Poly Secure book. So you say, okay, so do you want to be my safe haven? And I find it ridiculous, but I understand it, because again, you will know why it's important to talk. I'm also aware of if somebody doesn't know how to handle their nervous system, if they don't want to. Well, again, I do personal development all the time and growth. I'm not going to be My amygdala will not be actively intrigued by a person who is going to not take those 2 hands, 2 feet, come, go, go, go. I know you can find a sweet spot. I can see your creative juices. Use your brain. Use those thoughts. Come on, you can do it. I'm just saying it's that simple. It's math. So my point is, if you want to work with yourself, you're going to know how, because it's, again, a joy and fun for you to say, yep, I know exactly what I can do to make today better. Oh, look, wait, this, I could have, So you don't do inner critic or outer critic. You do, okay, I'm learning. That's the physical mastery. I'm an Akashic record reader, so mental, emotional, physical mastery. Now that I have it all down to a T, everything happens for a reason. Every action has a reaction, and everything that is meant to find its way to you will always come, or however the saying goes. And this is that other part about what a person who is an expert in their field, meaning they care about what they do as a professional, which is why I take on all the titles, but really I just care about you being you. That's always been the case. My marketing, I care about my clients being their companies and not using marketing in some shitty ass way. But that's because I'm a person who doesn't agree with those pseudo-intellectual sales pitch assholes out there who think that, manipulating you is really what works. But I have noticed there are those who like to join a crowd. So, Peter Pan, have fun with the Lost Boys. I'm not fond of copycats because, they're not authentic. I'm fond of healthy, self-worth people because I'm fond of you being yourself. Again, should I repeat that? Oh, I forgot. Patrick Tan coming in. What is it? The distorted self. Yeah, so I don't want to be myself. Patrick Tan. Go learn to love yourself first. And if a lady tells you it's dangerous to have no emotions and it's not inherently healthy or enlightening to be non-reactive, laugh, because she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, but she doesn't want to learn about it, so it's okay. She can look pretty in her dress. She's a star. There's no horse. We, in the meantime, know that into the unknown, and so there are unknowns that are definitely going to be, you know what I love about being a mystic. And at the same time, here's the part about why I also love that I don't want to always be there. Meaning the safe haven, secure base. I'm going to bring it back into the mix. It's the moment of where with just another human being, because we're mammals, and so I'm not activating my ventral vagal state because I'm obviously participating, but it's activated because I'm in a safe haven, secure base space. So the two are what make it a securely attached figure. The two, both, again, personal development, growth. You find a person who doesn't want to do it, you go to Terra Real. Or anyways, you figure it out. But when someone denies their own history, denies their own nervous system, denies all the data that's being presented, and that's a person who, I'm going to let you know, I would be like, dude, okay. 1, therapy. 2, you're being oblivious to information that I'm very well cultured in. So I'm sorry, I can't lie to you because I'm not a liar. So we are going to be working on this. Yes? No? Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure. I don't actually hang out with hypocrites. And I can't be a hypocrite to myself. I'm, after all, a perfectionist. So as I do personal growth and development, I know where I'm reaching, what I'm going for, and you seem to not want to fly with me. So I'm just saying, and this isn't about them having to have the same window of welcome, by the way. That has nothing to do with it. Common sense people know that we are different. So again, it's the effort behind, am I going to handle my stress with you stress? 1. Am I going to be myself by being aware, accountable, and regulate? Am I going to know that really, as long as we're breathing and living and we have loved ones, you got the bare necessities okay? So I'm not saying it's the highlight, but if you are mindfully aware and you are still here, you will know this precious gift called life. Will you take, as Sadhguru says, and appreciate it now or not? It's very straightforward. When you will move to beyond, that's why the spiritual bypassers and savior complex people, when I hear them talking about the stars, I'm like, do you realize you won't be with your loved ones? You do realize this is like awful. No? One of my dreams that I woke up and said, this is what I said as I woke up. I said, today is going to be the most perfect day of my life. I will appreciate life so much that I would want to kiss the floor right now, but I won't because I think that is unnecessary since I am awake from a dream. But I was going to kiss the floor as I wake up and am alive, because in this dream, I was not going to be back. No. I was actually, and I'm not kidding, like the actual, like, you're dying. I was getting all ready. In fact, what did I do as I'm on the toilet in my dream? I said, I want to say goodbye to the ones who I will never see again. And I write them on my phone, and one of them says to me, hey, but did you check behind you? Maybe there's something that you can do to get out of this situation. And lo and behold, I won't tell you all the story, but as they did give me that suggestion, I look behind me, I say yes, and then I make a very conscious choice based on what I know people do when they're family. And again, I'm going to keep it vague, but yeah, I woke up and I said, I will hope and pray to God that I will never have to find myself in what that was. And God keeps saying that I'm physically safe. So I'm like, cool, God, I'm trusting you. But, you know, so yes, knowing that everything has a reason and all that good stuff. Yes. So it's really amazing and fun to be an empowered feminine masculine who's consistently one with God, Akash source. And to know that all of your, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. When you know, yes, all your dreams do come true. And every one of us, if you care about what you do, you won't think of you as missing out, coming in late. You won't actually have that feeling. But this is from a self-empowered, 0137 human being who knows all about the joys of emotions and that knows about God. Okay, so I mean, that's mindset, inner growth mindset, Maria mindset. So I don't do suffering. Jesus suffered for my sins. I don't need to be suffering, and I don't do temporal junction. So I don't know it at all, and I don't have shame because there's no part of me that is ashamed of being Maria. If I've ever been ashamed, I've said, sorry, God, I'm ashamed. Forgive me. I promise I won't ever do it again to be stupid. And no, I don't look up to any of those emotionally immature people, but I now know that I get to practice, and also you get to give me practice too. So when unknowns, unexpecteds, unwanteds come on in, we do what? We use our open heart, like the main modules of the inner growth mindset. So you get to deal with them from within you with your own personality, and then you get to go with the flow. And there's 3 levels: beginners, advanced, beginners, intermediate, advanced. And I won't bother explaining anymore right now. So reacting to knowns, okay, we all do, but with you stress, your body doesn't get into distress, and that's what Dr. Diana Siegel was explaining to this person, and I understand it because Maria's aware of herself. While my child parts are good, those panic attacks didn't hurt me, I'm good right here, okay, I still have similar ways that I get frazzled, so I mean, it's sometimes boring because it's, okay, Maria, really? But then it's, okay, are you really going to yell at your 0-1-year-old? That's not nice. Like, she doesn't know any better. So there's that. And so the child parts, they're real deal. And I don't always talk to my child parts like that, but it helps sometimes to myself, not with others. It sounds weird. I wouldn't ask somebody, hey, can you talk? No, you're talking to Maria. That's the part. They're mine, not yours, but I'll let you know what they want. And then you can have fun and laugh. Okay, so 5D Mystic points of view, stories, you had a good time, sign up, subscribe, do all that lovely stuff. And if you do have wanting for one-to-one mentorship, email me. And again, for inquiring on master classes and or masterclass, we have to decide once we get to our number. I'm waiting for the number. And then future workshops and retreats. And you can also visit inspiringhumanpotential.com. The main modules are for free on the website, so you can see my teaching style for the Inner Growth Mindset program. And the beginners is the only one available on Udemy unless they've made it invisible for now. But to be continued, you can always email me and ask. So that's always an option. And you know what I know about people who love to handle themselves and that they love to know their self is that they know how to ask questions, because that's how winning's done. It's nobody gets hit, and no, life don't hit you to ground. Robert Spolsky, come on in, tell Sylvester Stallone how it works. So personal growth and development, again, it's a very serious business. Also spiritual growth, mystic here, 5D collective. We love God, Jesus. We love, some don't know Jesus maybe, but divinity, consciousness, Akash source. So we'll all know that we have different types of dreams, and that's a side note as an Akashic record reader, because sometimes you will still also have dreams that allow you to have fun with the world. And this, I was just thinking about something. Okay, I'm going to go now. So thanks for stopping by. Again, if you do know people who care about good podcasts for personal development, self-help, and even the trauma stuff, and then like to hear when someone makes fun of pseudo-intellectuals and spiritual bypassers and all that other great stuff, let them come on over. And yes, we do have tarot and oracle and channeled guidance and food for thought. We have a new moon coming up soon. So that's going to be fascinating, as July is expected to be a very, very big month. Now, 5D Collective, we expand. 3D, 4D, yeah, Zen Master. Have fun with laundry, man. See you later, alligators. Have a good one.